Hey there, it's Dan from DNA Farm and Gardens. Just in the kitchen right now, trying to finish taking care of some of the herbs that we dried right at the end of season this year. I got a few more little baggies of flat Italian parsley that needs to be taken off the stem and chopped up and put away for the winter. I didn't dry as many herbs as I would have liked to this year. It was kind of a chaotic end of season, fall time, with me going back on the road as a truck driver and not being home every single day. So I got around to drying a few things this year anyways. I got some lavender, I got a little bit of citronella. I was able to dry a few hibiscus flowers. I did get a little bit of chamomile and some pineapple sage and pineapple sage flowers as well. A little bit of lemon balm. But I think my biggest haul of dried herbs, or herbs I guess, is the flat Italian parsley. Like I said, it's not as much as I would have liked to have done, but it'll be plenty for us this winter to use, and honestly probably into the spring and summer as well with some of it. The citronella, I'm going to make us some bug spray for next year. Mosquitoes are really bad out here, so as much as I can get away from the actual like aerosol bug spray cans, I will. So and for next year, we've got a local shop here in town that is interested in commission selling our dried herbs and even some dried teas, or some teas once we get them together. So it'll be a nice little income bump right there. But I'm just happy to have some dried herbs of our own from our own property, or from our own farm, for this winter to use while we're cooking. I got home later than expected today. I was hoping to get a few things done outside and get a big project taken care of, but I'll get a start to it today. I think that's lemon balm. Nope, that's parsley. I'll get a start to it today, so hopefully I can finish it up tomorrow. But at least with finishing up these herbs today, that will be one less thing on the list of things to do. I'm only home for a day and a half, and then I'm back out again for another 2 days. So the more I can get done today, the better. I got a couple little things here in the house that need some attention. I can obviously probably go without taking care of them this week, but those will be projects that I do late at night when I can't sleep. So it'll likely get done tonight. I'm sure there's a much faster way of stripping the leaves from the stems for this parsley, but I like to be hands-on for some things. It's a stress reliever. So, and honestly, for the few extra minutes that it would probably save me, it wouldn't be worth it in my opinion for any kind of cost that I'd have to pay. Now, next year, because I'm hoping to have a much larger yield of dried herbs. Like I said, we've got a shop that wants to commission sell some of our product. So yeah, I will likely look into a little bit of a quicker process for stripping the leaves from the stalks or the stems for herbs. But for now, my two hands work just fine. So, and all my other herbs that I was able to get dried and preserved this season was half-pint jars, but thankfully, so far, I'm filling up a pint jar with the Italian parsley just because there's so much of it. And I'm just reusing a pint jar that we had gotten last season, I think, from the Amish when we bought some of their pickles. No sense in throwing away a perfectly good jar or recycling a perfectly good jar. I recycle coffee cans and like mayonnaise jars from family members, frosting containers from when we make cakes or cupcakes or whatever. I recycle all those out in the garage to hold nuts and bolts and screws and nails and pretty much anything else that I can find to stick in them. So I gotta be really careful with this parsley because I don't know if it's a static or if it's just the slight extra movement of wind or pressure, but it's jumping all over the place. One more little baggie left to do. Hey, there it goes, just jumping all over the place. Gunther. Hey, buddy, it's just a school bus. Yep, it's just the neighbor kids. Oh, are you so aggressive, Mr. Watchdog? Say hi, Gunther. Say hi to the YouTube community. Look, there's Molly over there in the corner. Hi, May. We call her Molly May. And we got Gunther. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, buddy. So there are watchdogs, or bodyguards. And then Binford is outside. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Binford, as in Binford Tools from Home Improvement. I'm kind of addicted to home improvement, just a little bit. One of my favorite TV shows. And we discussed when we got another dog, or before we got the other dog, before we got Binford. So we can get another dog as long as it's a big dog and I get to name him. So, yeah. You're not a fan of it, are you, Gunther? Gunther and Binford don't get along. They did for about a year and a half, and then little dog complexion or big dog bulliness, whichever happened, they got into a tiff and they just don't get along anymore. So Binford stays outside during the day. We bring him in at night. He's protected from the elements. We've got a canopy over his kennel, and he's got a really nice doghouse out there. And he's got a nice sunbathing platform. In the summer, he gets a pool, a heated water bucket in the winter. But with that, he's terrified of the wind. So if the wind blows the wrong way or the cats run by, he barks at the top of his lungs. And the chickens are the same way. They pester him just as well. So we know if Binford's not barking, there's no activity going on out on the farm. But he'll let you know when the mail's here or when the kids next door are getting off the school bus. Or when a chicken gets too far away from the coop, he'll be the first to let you know. I'm glad I decided to go with a pint jar for the parsley, because that last bunch that I put in there, pretty much, well, 3/4 of the way full. And this last little baggie that I've got here will likely fill the rest. And then all the little junk stems and bad leaves, they'll go out to the compost to break down and use next year. I do have a small little baggie of chocolate mint that I did dry. That So I do have a small little amount of chocolate mint that I was able to get dried this year. So I will, that's the last of the dried herbs that I've got to take care of. So I will likely do that after I finish this last little bit of parsley, just so it's completely done and I can put our herbs back away, or I can put them back on the storage shelf. If you're wondering why I'm smiling, Molly just turned and looked at me and gave me the most adorable look ever. Like Mexican jumping beans when I lift the cutting board to put the parsley in the jar. Not quite a full jar, still about 3/4 of the way full. I guess I chopped up the rest more fine, but that's alright too. We've got a good amount of parsley for next year, or this fall, this winter. Got a full half pint of lavender this year. I'm very happy with that. I'm going to use it for teas and candles. Got almost 2 full half pint jars, so I probably could have got away with using a pint jar for the citronella. That's alright. Like I said, very little chamomile. But some hibiscus flowers, those will get used in teas. But that's all I got for chocolate mint this year. And the only reason they're in baggies is because it was easier to put them in baggies when I brought them in from the garage, from the drying rack to the house. And I just store them for a couple of days in these until I was able to get to them. So, oh yeah, that smells delicious. Absolutely smells delicious. And I'll use this for putting in like a relaxing tea for the end of the night, an evening tea, or to garnish my hot chocolate with a little bit, or I'll just put it right in the hot chocolate mix. Jumping all over the table. Now I have to search for where they jump to, because like I said, I don't have a lot of chocolate mint, and I'd like to not just waste it. There. Yep, very, very little amount, but and I've got one more half-pint jar, so it's perfect, even with using 2 half pints for the citronella. Not a lot, about a third. A third of the jar. I'll label it with the year that it was preserved. And then I'll clean up the mess because that parsley kind of made a little bit of a mess on the table. Hey there, Dan from DNA Farming Gardens. Just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. I got some more content coming your way, so make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that little bell for notifications so you know when the videos are uploaded. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thanks again for following our farm channel.